Hi, my name's Justin DeRoy, and you tuned in for another episode of High Five Predictions. This is a show where I'm going to go down the list of all the major networks' mid-season premieres. For today's episode, we have NBC and also CW, because I only have two episodes or two new shows of each coming out in the coming months, so we're just compacting them together today. So starting off with NBC, we have a new kind of obstacle game show called Titan Games. I'm not having much faith in this show because it looks like a blatant ripoff of Ninja Warrior, and plus there's also been other blatant ripoffs of Ninja Warriors. Of course, a lot of people know there's American Ninja Warrior, which does have a lot of popularity because it's connected to the original series that was brought from Japan and then, redid in America, which is perfectly fine. But then now they're just doing other series of a show that's already ripped off, and then I feel like it's going to kind of hurt it, the fact that it looks so similar to American Ninja Warrior. They do, of course, have The Rock, who's backing this show. It's basically he's the main host and inspiration for making this, obstacle old game show. But I just don't think that a lot of people are going to be really caring about watching this when they already have American Ninja Warrior. So, for that reason, I think canceled. Next, we have The Village, and this one won't be coming out actually until March. So since it's coming off kind of further down the road, I think that they just haven't released any promotional material in the form of a trailer yet. And all they have was a synopsis for the show. But honestly, it sounds boring as hell. It's basically just about this apartment building and a bunch of people leaving, this tight-knit community within this apartment and building, and all of them supposed to have interesting backstories, and I guess they're going to take turns, showing more of, each character's, story and stuff like that, and what they're going through. But I don't watch a lot of these, kind of sad kind of dramas, and that's what it sounds like. So I kind of think canceled. So again, that's it for the NBC. So now we're moving straight on to the CW, and this is another show that just recently premiered. Haven't got a chance to check out myself, but the show is Roswell, which is a reboot of a show they had in the early 2000s, actually, that come out, which is basically about real-life aliens that have actually been living amongst us already in Roswell, New Mexico, and supposedly actually had come here during the whole alien, Roswell event with the crash saucer and whatnot, or supposed crash saucer. I can tell you that's definitely all just bupkis. It's not real. I've actually studied the whole thing. It's a whole big misunderstanding about a bunch of people who just took something, just made a whole lot of something out of nothing. But basically, yeah. Aliens living amongst us that have apparently come during the Roswell crash, and basically telling the story of how they've been living, and how they've been interacting with humans, stuff like that, and kind of tells us also a love story of one of them basically had fallen in love with a human being, and there's all that involved. And I was actually a big fan of the original series that came out, and it had a decent run. I believe it went for 5 seasons, and I actually really liked it. And I think if more returning fans like myself, and then they can attract new fans to this show, I think it's actually going to do quite well. So for that reason, I think it's going to get renewed. And lastly, we have a show that's not going to be coming in until late April, I believe. So it's pretty far off, actually. But it's a show called In the Dark, which is about I forgot to check on the gender. It's either a blind man or woman. But basically, one day they're out and about for whatever their daily routine is, and they apparently come across the body that is apparently their best friend. And it just so happens that just as they come across the body, the cops come and immediately assume that this person is guilty, despite the fact that they have quite the disadvantage to be able to do much harm to anyone, and this person is blind. So I guess at least the first season and several of the seasons I guess they're planning on is supposed to be about this person's struggle to prove himself innocent. But I can't really see this holding people's attention for very long, because how long are they going to have this person going to be like trying to be sitting on trial or like waiting to go on trial to prove their innocence before like people are just like, okay, enough already, are they going to prove their innocence or not? So I can't imagine it really holding people's attention for very long. So I think cancel for sure. So that is it for both NBC and CW's new mid-season lineup. Again, we have an episode I already did that came out previous to this one, which was the Fox mid-season and predictions. And if you tune in for the next episode coming the following day, will be the ABC's new mid-season collection. So that is it for us today. Please be sure to also check out the Patreon. They'll have the links coming up below. And that's it. Goodbye.